Alright, let's talk story and world building. But honestly, I'm not entirely sure how to approach this section. I don't want to spend too much time dissecting the narrative for two reasons. First, the story isn't the main focus of the game. And more importantly, Warhammer lore is a lot. It's dense, intricate and overwhelming if you're not already deep into it.
For in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
I could go into the Grey Knights, the Bloom and why Nurgle's forces are so horrifying. But let's be real, either I oversimplify it or I drown you in a warp storm of obscure terminology.
The prognosticars on Titan have augured the advent of a dire omen in that very system. They spoke of a black edifice, a vortex of foul malevolence.
Preliminary estimation, Knucklebones crown.
Not great either way. So instead, I'll just provide a quick overview, the setup, the key moments, and what I think of it all.
Excellent. We have no time to waste.
The game opens with a Grey Knight strike force locked in a battle against the forces of Khorne, led by a bloodthirster, an embodiment of pure rage and destruction.
Blood for the blood god! Skulls for the skull!
Their captain steps forward, engaging the demon in a desperate duel. But it quickly becomes clear that the demon is too powerful to be defeated conventionally. With no other choice, the captain sacrifices himself to banish the creature, setting the tone for the entire game. Fighting chaos is never easy, and victory always comes at a cost. This is what the Grey Knights are all about. They are not just any space marines. They are an elite and secret order created by the Emperor himself. Warriors uniquely gifted with psychic abilities and sworn to one purpose: combating the demonic forces of chaos. What makes them truly exceptional is their unshakable purity. In the grim history of the Imperium, not a single Grey Knight has ever fallen to chaos. They are the best of the best, incorruptible warriors who stand as humanity's last line of defense against the horrors of the warp.
Tactics.
After the battle, the battered strike force begins its journey back to their home planet, Titan, to regroup and repair their ship, the Baleful Edict. This is where you, the player, step in as the commander.
We sail for Titan on your word, Commander.
Much like in XCOM, you're treated as an actual character within the game, with the crew addressing you directly and relying on your leadership.
What say you, Commander? Are we finished here?
Before the ship can reach Titan though, Inquisitor Karta Vakir commandeers the vessel, convinced that a dangerous plague is spreading through the sector.
I must commandeer this vessel at once.
This plague, known as the Bloom, is the work of Nurgle, the plague god. A bit reluctantly, the Grey Knights join forces with her to investigate the outbreak. This is where the main gameplay loop kicks in. You deploy your squads to infected planets, purging chaos forces, gathering clues and containing the Bloom's spread, all while trying to repair the ship and replenish your dwindling forces. As you fight the Bloom, you get to know the ship's key figures. One of the first things I noticed is that I actually enjoy the characters in this game. They aren't particularly deep, but it's Warhammer, they don't need to be. Each major character represents a different faction aboard the Baleful Edict, and their clashing perspectives. Night Purifier Actor represents the Grey Knights. He embodies the Grey Knight's zealous devotion to purging chaos. His approach is straightforward. Burn the bloom with holy fire first and ask questions never.
This abomination serves the plague god. He must be exterminated immediately.
Inquisitor Vakir is the polar opposite of Actor.
I would rather we simply purge them.
That is the difference between us, Purifier. You are the hammer, but I am the one with the burden to wield it.
Her goal is the same, eradicate the plague, but her methods are far more calculated and at times controversial. She is driven by a desire to understand the bloom, even if it means delving into dangerous, borderline heretical research. This clash of ideologies leads to frequent and often heated conflicts.
You listen to voices in the Sea of Souls?
You object to my methods, Knight?
You are only human. You walk a dangerous path.
Then there's the ship's tech priest, Lynette.
This petty dueling is unproductive.
Easily my favorite. Unlike the others, she isn't driven by faith, duty or zealotry. She doesn't really care about the Grey Knight's mission or the Inquisition's goals. To her, the Baleful Edict is what matters. A relic of ancient battles, a machine spirit to be maintained and respected. To her, this campaign is just another chapter in the ship's long existence.
But remember, the Baleful Edict is my chief concern. Be careful with this ship.
She adds a very unique flavor to the narrative, as she brings her logic and no-nonsense pragmatism into a dialogue between two zealous and emotionally driven parties. And I love it.
This conversation vector is unproductive.
Her detached, logical mindset contrasts beautifully with the passionate fervor of Actor and Vakir.
I am a priest of Mars. Sentimentality is for the flesh.
Beyond the character dynamics, the story is still full with memorable moments that raise the stakes and keep things exciting. At one point, your forces find themselves completely outmatched, facing certain doom with no hope of victory or escape. Then, out of nowhere, Elder Drago himself appears to save the day. If you don't know, Drago isn't just some random character. He's the Supreme Grandmaster of the Grey Knights, one of the most powerful warriors in the Imperium, wielding one of the mightiest swords in existence. He's also been trapped in the realm of chaos for the past century, only occasionally manifesting in real space during moments of dire need. Seeing him show up in the game like this, completely unexpected and very, very cool.
I will clear this warp's interference so that you may return to your ship. Now go, in the Emperor's name.
Teleportation lock acquired.
For the Emperor!
As the story unfolds further, you learn that the bloom is being driven by 5 Plague Reapers. Massive, terrifying monsters and actual boss fights. They are 2 different Great Unclean Ones, a Chaos Knight, a demonic siege engine, and a monstrous Chaos Spawn. Each one is a unique challenge, and taking them down feels like a major victory. It is really satisfying to beat such legendary enemies as that. And again, incredible designs, straight from the tabletop. The narrative takes another dramatic turn when you discover that the only way to truly destroy the bloom is to sever its roots inside the realm of chaos itself.
A network of roots, reaching directly from the Garden of Nurgle. Sever these roots, and the seeds will wither. The bloom will dwindle and perish.
Not exactly an easy task. What a pickle. It would have been really great if there was someone already in the warp. Maybe even a Grey Knight. Someone extremely powerful with the means to banish this corruption at its source.
A mighty shield against the coming darkness.
A plan forms. You reach out to Drago, informing him of what must be done. But oh, an even greater problem. This was all a trap set up by Nurgle, designed specifically to lure Drago into the clutches of chaos. With no alternative, you and your forces plunge into the warp in a daring attempt to rescue him. And this is where Mortarion enters the picture. Again, not just any villain, the Prince of Decay himself, the greatest demon prince of Nurgle, and the demon primarch of the Death Guard. Yes, that Mortarion, a true monster and a legend.
The Morbus is at hand!
Finally, the story culminates in a climactic mission, where you actually get to control Drago himself. And what the hell is this? I expected a legendary warrior, a godlike force wielding an awe-inspiring weapon. Instead, Drago feels like a surprisingly average Grey Knight. One of his abilities lets him grant 1 action point to 4 allies by spending his entire turn. There is literally a dude beside him who can give an ally 3 action points by using only 1 himself. And his legendary Titan Sword?
No purer blade has ever existed.
Don't kid me, it deals 8 damage. Meanwhile, I have regular weapons dealing 6 and 7. He doesn't have much health, doesn't hit like a truck, and doesn't come with any overpowered skills. How the hell did he survive in the warp for a century? Brother Interceptor Storm would have had better chances than him. This is a minor gripe, as he is in the game only for a single mission. But he was so hyped up to just have this. What a letdown. In the end, despite some flaws, I enjoyed the story. It has interesting characters, unexpected twists, and plenty of tension. The stakes feel real, the battles are epic, and the reveals are genuinely surprising. Huge demons, heroic sacrifices, betrayal, redemption. It's everything you'd want from a Warhammer 40k story. And this comes from someone who isn't really into Warhammer. If you are a fan or just love a good sci-fi tale, I believe this game delivers.
We are the Hammer.
Thanks for watching. I hope you had a good time with the video. In the next slice, I'll be covering the DLCs. Oh, how I love me a good DLC. But are they actually worth your time? Stick around to find out. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a like or share your thoughts in the comments. It really makes a difference. Appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Good. That will do for now.